had no idea I'd have so much fun. This is really fun. Anybody else want to come up so there'll be a kind of duet thing happening? No? Okay. So, I'm just dealing with sounds and colors and dynamics and rhythms. I can already tell that we're going to have fun. Okay. There we go. There we go.
So even better yet.
My wife's sister. All right.
The dances we got.
Okay, here we go. Pour to your hope. Okay, Jehovah for the sa. For the sa, just urge to up the pole. Ta 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 pa pa la 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 pa pa oh oh button 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 being a musician, everything that I've written, I thought, for me, the important thing is, and it's been an effort since almost since the age of 40, is to make music become poetry, which becomes then music. And I had just a good enough musical background so I could get away with that. And I just, for a quick look, a lot of my poetry was scored like music. Because I was thinking of music. And do you believe in God? I do. I held hands with him the other day, and we laughed together, God and I together. And God and I played tennis once, and he's got a hell of a serve. And I've seen him roll down a mountainside, foaming with delight, and I've caught fish in him, and seen him dance across the heavens, trailing light. God served me bouillabaisse at the Waldorf, and I've served him burgers and French fries at a crummy drive-in. I happen to know that God digs jazz and rock and roll. Yeah, he grooves. And I've made love with God, gentle love, and watched him multiply. Watched him multiply. Tiply. Tiply watched him multiply. Tiply, tiply, and die. That was. And I made love with God. This is called The One. And by the way, this is music, and you'll find that my text may be entirely unrelated to Chuck's, as his may be entirely unrelated to mine. Sometimes they'll come together in a fugue form, other times contrapuntally. So if you want to listen to one voice, and like you do with a string quartet, you might listen to cello for a while, or the first violin to get some sense of the form and melody. So you may, and if you do listen to one voice at the exclusion of the other, then you'll hear totally different texts than the one that will come to you much more subtly.
I'll have to just add one more thing. I first heard this poetry almost 35 years ago at the community school where Toby was a regular yearly visitor, creating a chorus out of 30 kids, and in an hour giving them words and phrases and directing them in performance like this. And that was my first introduction to this. And it's kind of haunted me, and when I came back to the area, the first event I saw was these guys all reading, and I went, oh, someday I want to read with them. I've been waiting for 35 years to do this. And one of the things about these pieces to me is that if you imagine that you're a person whose hearing turns on and off in the same way that our voices turn on and off, this is something like what you might hear. And it's never clear, and it's taken years and years for me to get it, that all conversations are in fact like these performances.
Yes.
Thank you, that was great. Yeah. Good clarification. And so now we got back together again. We were separated for, let's see, over 20 years, I think. Chuck came up to me at the gym and said, Aren't you
that guy? I
Aren't you
can't
that guy,
remember.
Toby? And we hugged and we've been hugging ever since. The one being, this will tell you this much, the one being the one moment in which we always exist, which is an eternity, and which is it a moment. We are searching for the end when we should be welcoming the beginning.
We are searching
The beginning
for the end
of the beginning
when we should be welcoming
of this day.
the beginning.
We are searching
The beginning
for the end
of the ending
when we should be welcoming
of this day.
the beginning.
We are searching
We are
for the
searching
end.
for the end.
So many beginnings
The beginning
and
of
endings
the endings.
in this and every day.
So many beginnings and endings.
So many
In this and every day.
beginnings and endings
So many
in this and every day.
beginnings and endings.
So many
Yet none the same. None the same.
beginnings and endings.
It's transcendence.
Yet none the same.
I believe
It's transcendence.
the ease with which
The
one
ease
moment
with which
fades into the next.
One moment fades into the next.
Which becomes the one.
The one.
We are searching
We are searching for the end
for the end
when we should be welcoming
when we should
the beginning.
be welcoming the beginning.
Welcoming
the
the
beginning. So many beginnings.
So many beginnings in this
In this
and every day.
and every day.
Yet none the same.
The same.
And yet none the same.
It's transcendence, I believe.
I believe it's transcendence.
The ease
I believe.
with which one moment fades
The ease
into the next.
with which one moment
Which becomes the one
fades
always.
into the next.
The one
Which becomes the one.
which becomes the one.
Only the one.
It's transcendence.
I believe
It's transcendence, I believe.
The ease with which
The ease
one moment
with which
fades
one moment
into the next.
fades
Which becomes
into the next.
the one.
Which becomes
Always the one.
the one.
Only the one.
Always the one.
Don't look ahead.
Don't look
Don't look behind.
ahead.
You'll only see the you
Don't look behind.
of that time.
You'll only see the you
Which is the one.
of that time.
Of this time.
Which is the one. The one
I knew it.
of this time.
Don't look ahead.
Don't look
Don't look behind.
ahead.
You'll only see
Don't look behind.
the you
You'll only see
of that
the
time,
you
which is the one
of that time.
of this time.
Which is the one of this time. I knew it.
I felt it.
I experienced it. And I lost it. And I lost it. Lost it because
Lost it.
I was searching
Because
for the end.
I was searching
When
for the end.
I should have been.
I was searching.
Lost it because I was
Lost it
searching
because
for the
I
end.
was searching for the end.
When I should have been.
Welcoming.
The beginning.
Welcoming.
The beginning.
Blind to beauty.
Blind
Of the moment.
to the beauty of the moment.
Don't look ahead.
Don't look
Don't look behind.
ahead.
You'll only see
Don't look behind.
blind to the beauty.
Blind to the
Moment.
beauty of the moment.
The beauty.
Of the moment.
And blind to transcendence.
The beauty of the
Which
moment.
could take you there.
Which would take you there as tenderly as you could understand. I came home to my wife, I should say, and I said, I wrote myself a birthday poem, and she said, well, let me hear it. And I said, it's just a little poem, dear. It's nothing that I want to repeat. She said, I want to hear your poem. So I read it to her. It's called Dear Ma, Dear Dad, and it was scored like rhythms, and actually it's the first poem in this book here. Dear Ma, dear Dad, you're the only loves I ever had. And I don't think that's very bad. Very bad, very bad. Dear Ma, dear Dad. Dear Ma, dear Dad, did I do something to make you sad? Make you sad? I did what you told me. What you told me. She was crying halfway through, and she said, why don't you do it? And I said, what do you mean do? I just wrote a poem, that's all. Do what? She said, well, whatever you do, but get out of that business, real estate business. It's killing you inch by inch every day you go in, and become that idealistic, creative soul that I fell in love with on the campus at the University of Washington. And I said, well, dear, I don't know what I want to do, whether I want to write I can't be a poet. I mean, I'm 40 years old. I couldn't make a living. Poets who start at 20 don't make livings. And she said, look, you've done a good job for 15 years supporting us. We got married in 1950, and this was 65 on my 40th birthday, as I said. She said, I'll support the family, whether it's writing poetry, whether it's singing, whatever it is. Find yourself, find that person that I fell in love with. Sounded good to me. We had 3 children because, I said, we've got mortgages, we got doctor's bills, Blue Cross. She said, well, I'll take care of that. You take care of who you are, or who you need to be again for all of us. We called our kids together and we said, we can't guarantee college educations. We can't guarantee 10-speed bikes, but it's going to be a much more interesting life than what we dealt with. So that was cool with them. I went out and got a bottle of champagne, and the 5 of us toasted our future, and I took out my real estate license and threw it in the fireplace on my 40th birthday. I couldn't have given myself a better gift. If I hadn't done that, I wouldn't be here right now, that's for damn sure. I started writing on my 40th birthday. When I was 41 and a half, I was supporting my family as a full-time poet. Who would like to come up and do one with me? Come on up. We'd love to have you come up and do one with me.
Thank me.
All right. This is one that I did in 1980, and I just came across it the other day, and we'll just I'll take a line, you take a line. It's called Collectives. I'll do this and then you do that. Yeah, we go down this way.
What about here?
That's it, yeah. Collectives. A murder of crow.
A quandary of bedbugs.
A chowder of cats.
A puncture of bees.
A leap of leopards.
A piddling of pigeons.
A sloth of bears.
An empathy of swine.
A rafter of turkeys.
A convent of vultures.
A smack of jellyfish.
A derelict of squid.
A skulk of foxes.
A digest of snakes.
A labor of moles.
A famine of condors.
A peep of chickens.
A faux pas of cockroaches.
A crash of rhinoceros.
A gallivant of rabbits.
A paddling of ducks.
A generation of vipers.
A siege of herons.
A voice of turtles.
A rag of colts.
A gestation of cells.
A drift of hogs.
A squeeze of sponges.
A charm of finches.
A harem of humans.
A trip of goats.
A haw of
A
hyenas.
knot of roads.
An orgy of mates.
A shrewdness of apes.
A suite of bunnybees.
A parliament of owls.
A prick of porcupines.
A troop of kangaroos.
Jounce of
A
wombats.
gaggle of geese.
A legacy of
A
worms.
pride of lions.
A magnitude of mastodons.
A watch of nightingales.
A nobility of swans.
A muster of peacocks.
Pebble of mice.
An exultation of larks.
A closure of dodos. That was really fun. very fun.
It's funny, I'm working on an autobiography. I'm going to reach over here for a minute. And before you came, I would just happen to be on this page. And I'm just going to want to read a little bit of it. It says, since painting has become an integral part of my creative life, I've experienced an increasing difficulty in getting on-campus invitations. This is an age of specialization, so when I present myself as a synesthesiologist, my word, one who engages in the cross-referencing of many art disciplines, I'm looked upon with awe, confusion, and suspicion. If I'm in the art department, they will refer me to someone in music. If I visit the English department, they will refer me to art. And if I'm in music, they will suggest drama or dance. All departments have their own agendas. So I had thought that as a painter, my poetry would become recognized through my painting. It hasn't worked out that way. And here I go. There. Here, and fill this space in. Being lots of G's. There's something holy, something sacred in being spontaneous. We've dealt with painting, and I think I've made a case for the fact that my painting and my music and my poetry are inseparable. One of my quests and goals is to make music out of poetry, cross the fine border that separates the spoken word from music, so that the spoken word becomes music. Well, here's Symphony number 1. Maybe I'll find that page, that first page that I did. Here it is. There's the page that I have this painting. I have this painting somewhere in the garage. It's awful, but that was the first day I painted. I worked with that line, and I think the line on the following page was also interesting. I'm very much obsessed with time. And that's strange because I don't believe in time. I think that there is now and all the other nows. And I think we only live in the now. There's no such thing as, well, a poem of mine says, life is now and never was before or after. In fact, as you came in, you saw that sculpture, that metal sculpture. This moment is all that we have. So this was called, this was the Time Symphony. This is a symphony for voice orchestra. The words in this composition I treated very much as individual notes of music. Each decade of my life, I've always said, this will be the most creative decade of my life. And it's always worked out that way. I don't know how much longer I can get away with it, but it's working. This was the map, the threshold of my life. And this has been very, very accurate, with the exception of the last couple of lines. So I'm just going to read you what is, and it's scored, rhythmically scored up there. In the book, it's not rhythmically scored, but it is scored as a duet. And I'll just read the one poem, I'm on the Threshold. I am on the threshold of the moment of birth, of the moment of sight, of the moment of touch, of the moment of the first tear. The moment of laughter, the moment of embarrassment, the moment of anger, the moment of the first love. Moment of rejection, moment of success, Moment of failure, moment of the first disaster. Of frustration, of crisis, of marriage, of the first child. Moment of divorce, moment of loneliness, moment of peace, moment of the first illness. The moment of truth, the moment of anxiety, the moment of longing, the moment of the first falling, of the moment of hopelessness, of the moment of senility, of the moment of death, of the moment of the first returning. I am on the threshold of every moment, 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 every moment. I am on the threshold. Language deserves to be able to sing. There are times. There are times such as these,
There are times,
when I sit among them,
such as these
attempting
times,
to understand
when I sit among them,
what is being said,
attempting to understand
without understanding
what is being said,
a word of it.
without understanding a word
Without
of it,
understanding a word of it.
There are times
such as these
There are
times,
times.
when I sit among them.
attempting to understand,
There are times
such as these
when
times,
I sit among them.
attempting to understand
What is being
What
said.
is being said?
is being said.
There are times. There are times.
Such as these times, when I sit among them, attempting to understand
Attempting to understand.
What is being said?
There are times
There are times
without understanding a word
Without
of it.
understanding a word of it.
There are times
There
There
are
are times
without understanding a word of it.